Chapter 19, Designing and Managing Integrated Marketing Communications in the course ASC1. The learning objectives are: sequence to steps to develop an integrated marketing communications plan, identify techniques for measuring the effectiveness of each element of the promotion mix, identify the advantages of each element of the promotion mix, identify the limitations of each element of the promotional mix, and identify each step in the process to build an advertising campaign. To develop an effective marketing communications, students need to know that these are the 6 steps typically companies utilize. It's important to know the steps in the sequence. Step 1 is to identify target audience. Step 2 is to determine objectives. Step 3 is to design communications. Step 4 is to select channels. Step 5 is to establish budget, and Step 6 is to decide on media mix. The different types of promotional strategies, namely advertising, direct marketing, sales promotion, and personal selling. It is very important to know the advantages and disadvantages of each of these promotional strategies. Let's take a look. The advantage of advertising is that the cost per customer is very low. The most important purpose of advertising is that it generates brand awareness in a short duration of time. The biggest disadvantage to advertising is that it is very difficult to measure effectiveness of advertising. Direct marketing. Direct marketing is a low-cost technique as long as the targeted audience are accurate. You have the ability to personalize messaging and send it to the targeted audience. The disadvantage is that it has image problems with reference to invasion of consumer privacy. This concerns about accuracy of consumer data. Search promotion. The advantages are that it provides a quick increase in sales for a short duration of time. It can measure effectiveness. It stimulates demand. The disadvantage is that this all use of sales promotion in any industry. As a result, it has created more collateral personal selling. Personal selling is a flexible, personalized communication method to sell a product to the target audience. It works for technically complex products or expensive products. The disadvantage, however, is that parcel selling is very expensive and it relies on the ability of the salespeople. In summary, modern marketing calls for more than developing a good product, pricing it attractively, and making it accessible to target customers. Companies must also communicate with present and potential stakeholders and with the general public. The marketing communications mix consists of 8 major modes of communication: advertising, sales promotion, public relations and publicity, events and experiences, online and social media marketing, mobile marketing, direct and database marketing, and personal selling. The communications process consists of 9 elements: sender, receiver, message, media, encoding, decoding, response, feedback, and noise. To get their messages through, marketers must take into account how the target audience usually decodes messages. They must also transmit the message through efficient media that reach the target audience and develop feedback channels to monitor response to the message. Developing effective communications requires 8 steps. 1. Identify the target audience. 2. Choose the communications objectives. 3. Design the communications. 4. Select the communications channels. 5. Set the total communications budget. 6. Choose the communications mix. 7. Measure the communications results. And 8. Manage the integrated marketing communications process. In identifying the target audience, the marketer needs to close any gap that exists between current public perception and the image sought. Communications objectives can be to create a need for the category, brand awareness, brand attitude, or brand purchase intention. Designing the communication requires answering 3 questions: what to say, message strategy; how to say it, creative strategy; and who should say it, message source. Communications channels can be personal, advocate, expert, and social channels, or non-personal, media, atmospheres, and events. Although other methods exist, the objective and task method of setting the communications budget, which calls upon marketers to develop their budgets by defining specific objectives, is typically most desirable. In choosing the marketing communications mix, marketers must examine the distinct advantages and costs of each communication tool and the company's market rank. They must also consider the type of product market in which they are selling, how ready consumers are to make a purchase, and the product's stage in the company, brand, and product lifecycle. Measuring the effectiveness of the marketing communications mix requires asking members of the target audience whether they recognize or recall the communication, how many times they saw it, what points they recall, how they felt about the communication, and what are their previous and current attitudes toward the company, brand, and product. Managing and coordinating the entire communications process calls for integrated marketing communications, IMC, marketing communications planning that recognizes the added value of a comprehensive plan to evaluate the strategic roles of a variety of communications disciplines, and that combines these disciplines to provide clarity, consistency, and maximum impact through the seamless integration of discrete messages. What is the main focus of Chapter 19 in ASC1? Chapter 19 focuses on designing and managing integrated marketing communications. What are the learning objectives of Chapter 19? The learning objectives are to develop an integrated marketing communications plan, measure the effectiveness of each element of the promotion mix, identify the advantages and limitations of each element, and understand the steps to build an advertising campaign. How many steps are typically involved in developing an effective marketing communications plan? There are 6 steps involved in developing an effective marketing communications plan. What is the first step in the sequence of developing a marketing communications plan? The first step is to identify the target audience. What is the second step in the sequence of developing a marketing communications plan? The second step is to determine objectives. What is the third step in the sequence of developing a marketing communications plan? The third step is to design communications. What is the fourth step in the sequence of developing a marketing communications plan? The fourth step is to select channels. What is the fifth step in the sequence of developing a marketing communications plan? The fifth step is to establish a budget. What is the sixth step in the sequence of developing a marketing communications plan? The sixth step is to decide on the media mix. What are the different types of promotional strategies discussed in the chapter? The different types of promotional strategies are advertising, direct marketing, sales promotion, and personal selling. What is the advantage of advertising? The advantage of advertising is that it has a low cost per customer and generates brand awareness quickly. What is the primary purpose of advertising? The primary purpose of advertising is to create brand awareness. What is the disadvantage of advertising? The disadvantage of advertising is that it is difficult to measure its effectiveness. What is the advantage of direct marketing? The advantage of direct marketing is that it allows personalized messaging to a targeted audience and is cost-effective when the audience is accurate. What is the disadvantage of direct marketing? The disadvantage of direct marketing is the concern about invasion of consumer privacy and accuracy of consumer data. What are the advantages of sales promotion? The advantages of sales promotion are quick sales increase, measurability, and stimulation of demand. What is the disadvantage of sales promotion? The disadvantage of sales promotion is that it may lead to overuse and reliance on sales promotion rather than other promotional methods. What is the advantage of personal selling? The advantage of personal selling is its flexibility and personalized approach, making it suitable for complex or expensive products. What is the disadvantage of personal selling? The disadvantage of personal selling is its high cost and reliance on the salespeople's skills. How is the effectiveness of each element of the promotion mix measured? The effectiveness of each element of the promotion mix can be measured through various metrics such as sales data, customer feedback, brand awareness surveys, and return on investment (ROI) analysis. Why is it important to identify the target audience in marketing communications? Identifying the target audience helps tailor the messages and promotional strategies to reach the intended customers effectively, maximizing the impact of marketing efforts. How does direct marketing personalize messaging to the target audience? Direct marketing uses customer data to create personalized messages, addressing specific needs and preferences, resulting in higher relevance to the target audience. Why does sales promotion have potential image problems? Sales promotion can create the perception of lower product value or reliance on discounts, potentially affecting the brand image and customer perceptions. What factors should be considered when selecting the appropriate channels for communication? Factors such as the target audience's preferences, media consumption habits, reach, cost, and message delivery capabilities should be considered when selecting communication channels. How does establishing a budget contribute to effective marketing communications? Establishing a budget helps allocate resources efficiently, ensuring that the chosen promotional activities align with the available financial resources and overall marketing objectives. What is the role of media mix in marketing communications? The media mix refers to the combination of different media channels used to deliver the marketing messages. It helps reach a wider audience and ensures message consistency across various platforms. How can marketing communications contribute to building brand awareness? Marketing communications, such as advertising and promotions, can create brand awareness by exposing the target audience to the brand's messages, logo, and unique selling proposition. Why is it important to measure the effectiveness of each element of the promotion mix? Measuring the effectiveness of each element helps determine the return on investment, ROI, and identify which strategies are most successful in reaching the target audience and achieving marketing objectives. What are the advantages of an integrated marketing communications approach? An integrated marketing communications approach ensures consistency across different promotional channels, maximizes the impact of messages, and enhances overall marketing effectiveness. How can measuring the effectiveness of promotional strategies help in decision making? Measuring effectiveness provides insights into which strategies are most successful, allowing businesses to allocate resources efficiently and make informed decisions for future marketing campaigns. How does personal selling differ from other promotional strategies? Personal selling involves direct interaction between salespeople and customers, allowing for personalized communication and tailored product presentations, which is different from mass communication in other strategies. What are the limitations of advertising as a promotional strategy? The limitations of advertising include difficulty in measuring its effectiveness accurately, high costs for extensive campaigns, and the challenge of breaking through cluttered advertising environments. How can direct marketing overcome the limitations of mass advertising? Direct marketing overcomes the limitations of mass advertising by targeting specific individuals or segments, allowing for personalized communication and direct response measurement. Why is the selection of appropriate channels important in marketing communications? Selecting appropriate channels ensures that the messages reach the target audience effectively and efficiently, maximizing the impact of marketing efforts. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of advertising campaigns? Businesses can measure the effectiveness of advertising campaigns through methods such as tracking sales data, conducting brand awareness surveys, analyzing website traffic, and monitoring social media engagement. What are the advantages of sales promotion in generating short-term sales? Sales promotion can quickly stimulate demand and generate short-term sales due to the incentive or discount offered to customers. How can businesses overcome the potential image problems of sales promotion? To overcome image problems, businesses can ensure that sales promotion activities align with the overall brand strategy, maintain consistent quality, and communicate the added value provided by the promotion. What are the advantages of personal selling for selling technically complex products? Personal selling allows salespeople to provide in-depth explanations, demonstrations, and address customer concerns, which is particularly beneficial for selling technically complex products. What are the limitations of personal selling as a promotional strategy? The limitations of personal selling include high costs due to the need for skilled salespeople, limited reach compared to mass communication channels, and the potential for variations in the sales message. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of direct marketing efforts? The effectiveness of direct marketing efforts can be measured through response rates, conversion rates, customer feedback, and sales data generated from targeted campaigns. Why is it important to design effective communications in marketing? Designing effective communications ensures that the messages are clear, compelling, and resonate with the target audience, increasing the likelihood of achieving the desired response or action. What factors should be considered when selecting the appropriate media mix? Factors such as the target audience's media consumption habits, reach, cost, message delivery capabilities, and the alignment with marketing objectives should be considered when selecting the media mix. How does personal selling contribute to building relationships with customers? Personal selling allows salespeople to establish direct relationships with customers, understand their needs, provide personalized solutions, and offer ongoing support, fostering customer loyalty. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of sales promotion activities? The effectiveness of sales promotion activities can be measured by tracking sales data during the promotional period, analyzing the redemption rates of coupons or discounts, and conducting customer surveys. What are the advantages of using digital channels in marketing communications? Digital channels offer greater reach, targeting capabilities, interactivity, and the ability to track and measure the effectiveness of campaigns in real time, providing valuable data for optimization. What are the limitations of digital channels in marketing communications? Limitations of digital channels include potential information overload, ad blocking, privacy concerns, and the need for continuous adaptation to changing technology and platform algorithms. Why is it important to establish clear objectives in marketing communications? Clear objectives provide a direction for marketing communications efforts, ensure alignment with overall marketing goals, and provide a basis for measuring success and effectiveness. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of direct marketing campaigns? The effectiveness of direct marketing campaigns can be measured through response rates, conversion rates, customer feedback, and sales data generated from targeted campaigns. What role does budgeting play in marketing communications planning? Budgeting helps allocate resources effectively, ensuring that the chosen promotional activities align with the available financial resources and overall marketing objectives. How can businesses overcome the limitations of advertising in measuring effectiveness? Businesses can use various methods such as tracking website traffic, conducting customer surveys, implementing unique promotional codes, and monitoring social media engagement to measure the effectiveness of advertising. What are the advantages of using social media in marketing communications? Social media allows businesses to reach a large audience, engage directly with customers, build brand loyalty, and leverage user-generated content for promotion. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of personal selling efforts? The effectiveness of personal selling efforts can be measured through sales data, customer feedback, conversion rates, and customer satisfaction surveys. Why is it important to select the appropriate channels for marketing communications? Selecting the appropriate channels ensures that the messages reach the target audience effectively and efficiently, maximizing the impact of marketing efforts. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of sales promotion campaigns? The effectiveness of sales promotion campaigns can be measured through sales data during the promotional period, redemption rates of coupons or discounts, and customer feedback. What are the advantages of using traditional media channels in marketing communications? Traditional media channels, such as television and print, offer broad reach, wide audience demographics, and credibility, making them suitable for mass communication and brand building. What are the limitations of using traditional media channels in marketing communications? Limitations of traditional media channels include high costs, limited interactivity, difficulty in targeting specific audience segments, and challenges in tracking effectiveness. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of direct marketing campaigns? The effectiveness of direct marketing campaigns can be measured through response rates, conversion rates, customer feedback, and sales data generated from targeted campaigns. Why is it important to design clear and compelling communications in marketing? Clear and compelling communications help capture the audience's attention, convey the intended message effectively, and increase the likelihood of achieving the desired response or action. What are the advantages of using online advertising in marketing communications? Online advertising offers precise targeting capabilities, real-time tracking and measurement, interactive features, and the ability to reach a global audience, making it cost-effective and efficient. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of online advertising campaigns? The effectiveness of online advertising campaigns can be measured through metrics such as click-through rates, conversion rates, engagement levels, and return on ad spend, ROAS. What are the advantages of using direct mail in marketing communications? Direct mail allows for personalized communication, tangibility, and the potential to stand out in a cluttered digital environment, making it effective for targeted campaigns. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of direct mail campaigns? The effectiveness of direct mail campaigns can be measured through response rates, conversion rates, and tracking codes or unique URLs included in the mailers. Why is it important to establish a budget for marketing communications? Establishing a budget helps allocate resources efficiently, ensuring that the chosen promotional activities align with the available financial resources and overall marketing objectives. What are the advantages of using public relations in marketing communications? Public relations can help build brand reputation, enhance credibility, and establish positive relationships with the public, media, and other stakeholders, increasing brand visibility and trust. How can businesses measure the effectiveness of public relations efforts? The effectiveness of public relations efforts can be measured through media mentions, press coverage, social media engagement, customer sentiment analysis, and surveys. What is the marketing communications mix? The marketing communications mix consists of 8 major modes of communication: advertising, sales promotion, public relations and publicity, events and experiences, online and social media marketing, mobile marketing, direct and database marketing, and personal selling. What are the elements of the communications process? The elements of the communications process are sender, receiver, message, media, encoding, decoding, response, feedback, and noise. Why is it important for marketers to understand how the target audience decodes messages? Understanding how the target audience decodes messages helps marketers tailor their communications to effectively convey their intended message and increase the chances of desired responses or actions. What are the 8 steps in developing effective communications? The 8 steps in developing effective communications are: 1. Identify the target audience. 2. Choose the communications objectives. 3. Design the communications. 4. Select the communications channels. 5. Set the total communications budget. 6. Choose the communications mix. 7. Measure the communications results. And 8. Manage the integrated marketing communications process. Why is it important to close the gap between current public perception and the desired image in identifying the target audience? Closing the gap between current public perception and the desired image helps ensure that the communications efforts align with the intended brand positioning and messaging, creating a consistent and coherent brand image. What are some possible communications objectives? Communications objectives can include creating a need for the category, building brand awareness, shaping brand attitudes, and generating brand purchase intention. What are the 3 questions to answer when designing the communication? The 3 questions to answer when designing the communication are: what to say, message strategy; how to say it, creative strategy; and who should say it, message source. What are the 2 types of communications channels? The 2 types of communications channels are personal channels, advocate, expert, and social channels, and non-personal channels, media, atmospheres, and events. What is the objective and task method of setting the communications budget? The objective and task method of setting the communications budget involves defining specific objectives and allocating budget resources accordingly to achieve those objectives. Why is it important for marketers to consider the distinct advantages and costs of each communication tool? Considering the advantages and costs of each communication tool helps marketers make informed decisions about which tools are most suitable for their objectives and budget, maximizing the effectiveness of their communications efforts. What factors should marketers consider when choosing the marketing communications mix? Marketers should consider the distinct advantages and costs of each communication tool, their market rank, the type of product market, consumer readiness to make a purchase, and the product stage in the company, brand, and product lifecycle. How can marketers measure the effectiveness of the marketing communications mix? Marketers can measure the effectiveness of the marketing communications mix by assessing recognition or recall, frequency of exposure, message recall, audience sentiments, and changes in attitudes toward the company, brand, and product. What is integrated marketing? Communications, IMC. Integrated Marketing Communications, IMC, is a marketing communications planning approach that recognizes the value of a comprehensive plan, integrates various communications disciplines, and ensures clarity, consistency, and maximum impact through seamless message integration. Why is clarity and consistency important in integrated marketing communications, IMC? Clarity and consistency in integrated marketing communications, IMC, help maintain a unified brand message across different communication channels, strengthening brand recognition and creating a cohesive brand image. How does integrated marketing communications, IMC, provide maximum impact? Integrated marketing communications, IMC, provides maximum impact by combining various communications disciplines to deliver a consistent and powerful brand message, resulting in enhanced communication effectiveness and customer response. What are the 8 major modes of communication in the marketing communications mix? The 8 major modes of communication in the marketing communications mix are advertising, sales promotion, public relations and publicity, events and experiences, online and social media marketing, mobile marketing, direct and database marketing, and personal selling. Why is it essential for companies to communicate with present and potential stakeholders and the general public? Effective communication with stakeholders and the general public helps companies build brand awareness, foster positive relationships, and maintain a positive reputation, leading to increased customer loyalty and business success. What are the 9 elements of the communications process? The 9 elements of the communications process are sender, receiver, message, media, encoding, decoding, response, feedback, and noise. Why is understanding the target audience's decoding process crucial for effective marketing communications? Understanding the target audience's decoding process helps marketers tailor their messages to resonate with the audience, increasing the chances of the message being understood and well received. What are the 8 steps involved in developing effective communications? The 8 steps involved in developing effective communications are: 1. Identify the target audience. 2. Choose the communications objectives. 3. Design the communications. 4. Select the communications channels. 5. Set the total communications budget. 6. Choose the communications mix. 7. Measure the communications results. And 8. Manage the integrated marketing communications process. What are the key considerations when identifying the target audience in marketing communications? When identifying the target audience, marketers need to address any gaps between the current public perception and the desired image. They must understand the audience's preferences, behaviors, and characteristics. What are the various communications objectives that marketers can pursue? Communications objectives can include creating a need for the category, building brand awareness, influencing brand attitude, or driving brand purchase intention. What are the 3 key questions to answer when designing communication messages? When designing communication messages, marketers need to answer 3 questions. What to say, message strategy. How to say it, creative strategy. And who should say it, message source. What are the differences between personal and non-personal communications channels? Personal communications channels involve direct interactions between a sender and receiver, such as advocate, expert, and social channels. Non-personal channels include media, atmospheres, and events. What is the objective and task method for setting the communications budget? The objective and task method involves marketers defining specific objectives and allocating the budget accordingly to achieve those objectives. Why is the integrated marketing communications, IMC, approach important in managing the communications process? The IMC approach ensures that various communications disciplines are combined to provide clarity, consistency, and maximum impact through the seamless integration of discrete messages. How can companies measure the effectiveness of their marketing communications mix? Companies can measure the effectiveness of their marketing communications mix by conducting surveys or asking members of the target audience about their recall of the communication, the points they remember, and their attitudes toward the company, brand, and product. What are the distinct advantages of advertising in the marketing communications mix? Advertising offers a wide reach, creating brand awareness quickly and cost-effectively, and can be used to communicate detailed information about the product or service. What are the limitations of advertising in marketing communications? One limitation of advertising is the difficulty in directly measuring its effectiveness, especially in terms of sales impact, as it is challenging to attribute sales to specific advertising efforts. What are the advantages of sales promotion in marketing communications? Sales promotion can generate short-term sales increases, create urgency, and encourage trial purchases, especially for new products or during specific promotional periods. What are the disadvantages of sales promotion in marketing communications? The overuse of sales promotion can condition customers to expect discounts or deals, eroding brand value and profitability in the long run. How does public relations and publicity contribute to marketing communications? Public relations and publicity help build brand reputation, enhance credibility, and generate positive media coverage, which can increase brand visibility and customer trust. What are the advantages of using events and experiences in marketing communications? Events and experiences provide opportunities for direct customer engagement, creating memorable brand experiences and fostering emotional connections with the target audience. How does online and social media marketing benefit marketing communications? Online and social media marketing offer precise targeting, real-time interactions, and the potential for viral reach, enabling companies to engage with customers on popular digital platforms. What are the advantages of mobile marketing in marketing communications? Mobile marketing allows companies to reach customers on their mobile devices, taking advantage of location-based targeting, personalized messaging, and convenient access to information. How does direct and database marketing contribute to marketing communications? Direct and database marketing enable personalized communication and direct response tracking, facilitating targeted messaging and building customer relationships. What are the advantages of personal selling in marketing communications? Personal selling allows for customized, one-on-one communication, addressing customer questions and concerns in real time, which is especially effective for complex or high-value products. What are the limitations of personal selling in marketing communications? Personal selling can be expensive to implement, requiring skilled salespeople and significant time investment, making it less feasible for mass-market products. Why is managing the integrated marketing communications process important for consistency and effectiveness? Managing the integrated marketing communications process ensures that all communication efforts work together seamlessly, delivering consistent messages and maximizing impact on the target audience. How does the communications process help marketers understand and refine their messaging? The communications process provides insights into how messages are transmitted, received, and interpreted, allowing marketers to refine their messages to better resonate with the target audience. What role does feedback play in the communications process? Feedback provides information on how the target audience has responded to the message, allowing marketers to assess the effectiveness of their communication efforts and make necessary adjustments. Why is noise a consideration in the communications process, and how can marketers address it? Noise refers to any factors that can disrupt or interfere with the transmission or reception of the message. Marketers can address noise by using clear and concise messaging, selecting appropriate media, and ensuring effective encoding and decoding processes. How does selecting the right communications channels impact the effectiveness of marketing communications? Selecting the right communications channels ensures that the message reaches the intended target audience efficiently and effectively, maximizing the chances of message reception and response. Why is it important for marketers to measure the results of their communications efforts? Measuring communications results helps marketers assess the effectiveness of their strategies, identify areas for improvement, and allocate resources more efficiently in future campaigns. What are the advantages of each element of the marketing communications mix? The advantages of each element of the marketing communications mix can vary. Advertising offers broad reach, sales promotion drives short-term sales, public relations enhances credibility, events and experiences create memorable interactions, online and social media marketing enable precise targeting, mobile marketing reaches customers on their devices, direct and database marketing allows for personalization, and personal selling provides customized communication. What are the limitations of each element of the marketing communications mix? The limitations of each element of the marketing communications mix can also vary. Advertising may have difficulties in measuring effectiveness. Sales promotion can condition customers to expect discounts. Public relations relies on media coverage. Events and experiences require substantial planning and resources. Online and social media marketing may face challenges with ad fatigue or negative feedback. Mobile marketing requires opt-in permission. Direct and database marketing depend on accurate customer data, and personal selling can be expensive and rely on salespeople's abilities. How does understanding the target audience help in selecting appropriate communications objectives? Understanding the target audience allows marketers to align communications objectives with the audience's needs, preferences, and behaviors, increasing the relevance and effectiveness of the messages. How does the message strategy contribute to designing effective communications? The message strategy determines what information and value propositions will be conveyed to the target audience, ensuring that the messages are compelling, relevant, and aligned with the communications objectives. What factors should marketers consider when choosing the communications channels? Marketers should consider factors such as the target audience's media preferences, the reach and cost effectiveness of different channels, and the nature of the message being communicated. How does the type of product market influence the choice of marketing communications mix? The type of product market, such as consumer goods, industrial goods, or services, can impact the effectiveness of different communication tools. For example, consumer goods may benefit from advertising, while industrial goods may require more personal selling and direct marketing. How does the product's life cycle stage affect the selection of marketing communications tools? The product's life cycle stage influences the emphasis on different marketing communications tools. For example, during the introduction stage, companies may focus on advertising and sales promotion to create awareness, while during the maturity stage, they may use personal selling to maintain customer loyalty. What are the key metrics that can be used to measure the effectiveness of marketing communications? Key metrics to measure the effectiveness of marketing communications include message recall, message comprehension, attitude change, brand awareness, purchase intention, and customer satisfaction. Why is clarity and consistency important in managing integrated marketing communications? Clarity and consistency in integrated marketing communications help to build a strong and unified brand image, enhance customer trust, and avoid confusion or mixed messages that may dilute the overall impact of communications efforts. How does an integrated marketing communications plan provide added value? An integrated marketing communications plan evaluates the strategic roles of different communications disciplines, combines them into a cohesive strategy, and ensures clarity, consistency, and maximum impact through the integration of messages, resulting in added value for the overall marketing efforts. How can marketers evaluate the strategic roles of different communications disciplines in an integrated marketing communications plan? Marketers can evaluate the strategic roles of different communications disciplines by assessing their individual strengths, advantages, and limitations in relation to the overall marketing objectives and target audience. How does the integration of discrete messages in an integrated marketing communications plan benefit marketing efforts? Integrating discrete messages ensures that all communications work together to reinforce the brand's positioning, deliver consistent brand messages, and maximize the impact on the target audience. How can marketers align their communications efforts with the desired brand image? Marketers can align their communications efforts with the desired brand image by conducting market research, monitoring customer perceptions, and adjusting the messages and communication channels to bridge any gaps between the current perception and the desired image. What are some techniques for measuring the effectiveness of advertising in the promotion mix? Techniques for measuring the effectiveness of advertising can include surveys, brand awareness studies, recall tests, ad tracking, and analyzing sales data before and after advertising campaigns. How can marketers utilize social media marketing to engage with the target audience effectively? Marketers can utilize social media marketing by creating compelling content, actively engaging with followers, responding to comments and messages, and leveraging the interactive features of social media platforms to build relationships and generate brand advocacy. How can marketers personalize their direct and database marketing efforts? Marketers can personalize their direct and database marketing efforts by using customer data to segment the audience, customize messages based on preferences or past interactions, and personalize offers or recommendations to increase relevance and response rates. What are some methods for measuring the return on investment, ROI, of marketing communications? Methods for measuring the ROI of marketing communications can include tracking sales and revenue attributed to specific campaigns, analyzing customer acquisition and retention rates, calculating the cost per lead or cost per acquisition, and conducting market research to assess brand perception and customer attitudes. How can marketers ensure consistency in messaging across different marketing communications channels? Marketers can ensure consistency in messaging by developing a clear brand voice and guidelines, providing training to employees and partners involved in communications, and regularly monitoring and reviewing communications materials to ensure they align with the brand's positioning and key messages. How does word of mouth marketing contribute to integrated marketing communications? Word of mouth marketing involves customers sharing their positive experiences and recommendations with others. It contributes to integrated marketing communications by amplifying brand messages, building trust, and expanding the reach of the communications efforts through customer advocacy. How can marketers leverage influencers in their marketing communication strategies? Marketers can leverage influencers by identifying individuals who align with their brand values and target audience, engaging them in partnerships or collaborations to promote products or services, and leveraging their reach and credibility to amplify brand messages. How can marketers effectively manage customer feedback in the integrated marketing communications process? Marketers can effectively manage customer feedback by implementing feedback channels such as surveys, social media listening, or customer service interactions, and using the feedback to identify areas for improvement, address customer concerns, and refine future communication strategies. What is advertising? Advertising is a paid form of communication through various media channels to reach a wide audience and promote products, services, or brands. What are the advantages of advertising? The advantages of advertising include wide reach, cost per customer, and brand awareness. How does advertising contribute to brand visibility? Advertising helps increase brand visibility through repeated exposure and reaching a large audience. What are the disadvantages of advertising? The disadvantages of advertising include difficulty in measuring effectiveness, limited message control, and competition within a cluttered advertising environment. What is personal selling? Personal selling is a one-on-one communication process between a salesperson and a potential customer to build relationships, understand needs, and present tailored solutions. What are the advantages of personal selling? The advantages of personal selling include personalized communication, relationship building, and receiving immediate feedback. Why is personal selling considered a costly promotional strategy? Personal selling can be expensive due to the need for dedicated sales teams and extensive training. How does personal selling help in addressing customer needs? Personal selling allows salespeople to customize their approach and directly address specific customer needs or concerns. What is direct marketing? Direct marketing involves direct communication with targeted individuals or groups through channels like email, direct mail, telemarketing, or SMS to generate a direct response or build ongoing relationships. What are the advantages of direct marketing? The advantages of direct marketing include targeted approach, personalization, and measurable results. What are the potential concerns in direct marketing? Concerns in direct marketing include consumer privacy issues, potential damage to brand reputation, and the need for effective database management. How can direct marketing be customized for specific customer segments? Direct marketing allows customization based on demographics, preferences, or purchase history, enabling more relevant messaging and higher response rates. What is sales promotion? Sales promotion involves short-term incentives or activities to stimulate immediate sales, such as discounts, coupons, contests, samples, or loyalty programs. What are the advantages of sales promotion? Advantages of sales promotion include a quick sales boost, measurable impact, and the ability to stimulate demand. What are the potential long-term effects of excessive sales promotions? Excessive sales promotions can condition customers to expect discounts, potentially devaluing the brand at regular prices. How can sales promotion increase competition within a market? Heavy reliance on sales promotions can lead to price wars and intensified competition among competitors. Steps in developing effective communications. What are the 8 steps in developing effective communications? The 8 steps are: identify the target audience, choose the communications objectives, design the communications, select the communications channels, set the total communications budget, choose the communications mix, measure the communications results, manage the integrated marketing communications process, Why is identifying the target audience important in developing effective communications? Identifying the target audience helps tailor the communication message and strategy to meet their specific needs and preferences. What is the purpose of setting communications objectives? Communications objectives define the specific goals the communication aims to achieve, such as creating brand awareness or influencing purchase intention. How does the design of communications contribute to effective messaging? Designing communications involves determining what to say, message strategy, how to say it, creative strategy, and who should say it, message source, ensuring a message resonates with the target audience. Why is selecting the right communications channels crucial? Choosing the appropriate communications channels ensures reaching the target audience effectively and maximizing the impact of the message. How does measuring communications results help evaluate effectiveness? Measuring communications results allows for the evaluation of factors like brand awareness, message recall, customer attitudes, and response rates, providing insights into the effectiveness of the communications. What is the significance of managing the integrated marketing communications process? Managing the integrated marketing communications process ensures coordination and integration of various communication activities to deliver a consistent and impactful message. What is advertising? Advertising involves paid communication through various media channels to promote products, services, or brands. What are the typical media channels used in advertising? Typical media channels include television, radio, print, online platforms, and outdoor displays. What is the primary aim of advertising? The primary aim of advertising is to create awareness, generate interest, and persuade consumers to take action. What are the advantages of advertising? Wide reach, cost per customer, and brand awareness. Wide reach. Advertising allows companies to reach a large audience, increasing brand visibility. Cost per customer. When reaching a large audience, the cost per customer can be relatively low. Brand awareness. Advertising is effective in creating and reinforcing brand awareness. What is the main disadvantage of advertising? The main disadvantage of advertising is the difficulty in accurately measuring its effectiveness. How do companies manage message control in advertising? Companies have limited control over how consumers interpret or respond to the advertising message. What challenge does advertising face in highly saturated markets? In highly saturated markets, advertising may struggle to break through the clutter and stand out among competitors. What is personal selling? Personal selling is a one-on-one communication process between a salesperson and a potential customer. What are the main objectives of personal selling? The main objectives of personal selling are to build relationships, understand customer needs, and present tailored solutions. What are the advantages of personal selling? Personalized communication, relationship building, and immediate feedback. What is the primary disadvantage of personal selling? Personal selling can be expensive, requiring dedicated sales teams and extensive training. How does personal selling compare to advertising in terms of reach? Personal selling has a limited reach compared to mass advertising. What is the key factor determining the effectiveness of personal selling? The effectiveness of personal selling relies on the skills, knowledge, and motivation of the salespeople. What is direct marketing? Direct marketing involves direct communication with targeted individuals or groups through various channels. How does direct marketing aim to interact with customers? Direct marketing aims to generate a direct response or build ongoing customer relationships. What are the advantages of direct marketing? Targeted approach, personalization, and measurable results. What is a common concern with direct marketing efforts? Consumer privacy concerns such as unsolicited communications or data protection. How might direct marketing impact brand reputation? Some consumers may perceive direct marketing as intrusive or spam-like. What is crucial for effective direct marketing? Accurate and up-to-date customer databases are crucial for effective direct marketing. What is sales promotion? Sales promotion involves short-term incentives or activities aimed at stimulating immediate sales. What are examples of sales promotion techniques? Examples include discounts, coupons, contests, samples, or loyalty programs. What are the advantages of sales promotion? Quick sales boost, measurable impact, and stimulates demand. What concern arises from overusing sales promotions? Overuse may condition customers to expect discounts or devalue the brand at regular prices. How can sales promotion impact product profitability? Sales promotions may lead to customers shifting purchases from regular priced items to discounted items. What might happen due to heavy reliance on sales promotions in a market? Heavy reliance on sales promotions can trigger price wars and intensify competition. What is the first step in developing effective communications? The first step is to identify the target audience. Why is it crucial to identify the target audience? Identifying the target audience helps tailor the message to the specific group of consumers. What comes after identifying the target audience? Choosing the communications objectives comes after identifying the target audience. How are communications objectives defined? Communications objectives are defined as the specific goals or outcomes the communication aims to achieve. What is the purpose of designing the communications? Designing the communications involves developing the message strategy, creative strategy, and message source. What are the components of the message strategy? The message strategy answers the questions: what to say, how to say it, and who should say it. What is the role of selecting communications channels? Selecting communications channels involves choosing the most suitable media or channels to reach the target audience effectively. What factors are considered when setting the total communications budget? Factors such as the overall marketing budget and the desired impact of the communications efforts are considered. What is the objective and task method of setting the communications budget? The objective and task method involves defining specific objectives and allocating the budget accordingly. What is the significance of choosing the communications mix? Choosing the communications mix involves determining the combination of different promotional strategies to use. What factors are considered when choosing the communications mix? Factors such as the advantages and disadvantages of each strategy, market rank, consumer readiness, and product life cycle stage. What is the importance of measuring communications results? Measuring communications results helps evaluate the effectiveness of the communications efforts and make improvements. What are some metrics used to measure communications results? Metrics may include brand awareness, message recall, customer attitudes, and response rates. How is the integrated marketing communications process managed? The process is managed by coordinating and integrating the various communications activities for consistency and maximum impact. What is the goal of integrated marketing communications, IMC? The goal of IMC is to provide clarity, consistency, and maximum impact through the seamless integration of discrete messages. How many major modes of communication are included in the marketing communications mix? There are 8 major modes of communication in the marketing communications mix. What are the 8 major modes of communication? The 8 major modes are advertising, sales promotion, public relations and publicity, events and experiences, online and social media marketing, mobile marketing, direct and database marketing, and personal selling. What is the purpose of advertising within the marketing communications mix? Advertising aims to reach a wide audience and promote products, services, or brands. What is the purpose of personal selling within the marketing communications mix? Personal selling involves one-on-one communication to build relationships and present tailored solutions. What is the purpose of direct marketing within the marketing communications mix? Direct marketing involves direct communication with targeted individuals or groups to generate a direct response or build relationships. What is the purpose of sales promotion within the marketing communications mix? Sales promotion stimulates immediate sales through short-term incentives or activities. What is the communications process? The communications process consists of 9 elements: sender, receiver, message, media, encoding, decoding, response, feedback, and noise. Who is the sender in the communications process? The sender is the party initiating the communication. Who is the receiver in the communications process? The receiver is the party receiving the communication. What is the message in the communications process? The message is the information or content being communicated. What are media in the communications process? Media are the channels or vehicles used to transmit the message. What is encoding in the communications process? Encoding is the process of converting the message into a form suitable for transmission. What is decoding in the communications process? Decoding is the process of interpreting or understanding the received message. What is response in the communications process? Response refers to the actions or reactions of the receiver after receiving the message. What is feedback in the communications process? Feedback is the information or response provided by the receiver back to the sender. What is noise in the communications process? Noise refers to any interference or disturbance that may hinder the effective communication of the message. What is the target audience in the communications process? The target audience is the specific group or segment of consumers the communication is intended for. Why is it important to consider the target audience in communications? Considering the target audience helps tailor the message to their needs, interests, and preferences. What are communications objectives? Communications objectives are the specific goals or outcomes the communication aims to achieve. How are communications objectives determined? Communications objectives are determined based on the desired impact or response from the target audience. What is message strategy? Message strategy answers the question of what to say in the communication. What is creative strategy? Creative strategy answers the question of how to say the message in a compelling and engaging manner. What is message source? Message source refers to the person or entity delivering the communication. What are communications channels? Communications channels are the media or platforms used to transmit the message to the target audience. How is the total communications budget set? The total communications budget is set by allocating resources to the communications efforts based on objectives and available funds. What is the objective and task method of setting the communications budget? The objective and task method involves defining specific objectives and allocating the budget accordingly. What is the communications mix? The communications mix refers to the combination of different promotional strategies used to deliver the message. How is the communications mix determined? The communications mix is determined by considering the advantages and disadvantages of each strategy, market rank, consumer readiness, and product life cycle stage. What is the purpose of measuring communications results? Measuring communications results helps evaluate the effectiveness of the communications efforts and make improvements. What are some metrics used to measure communications results? Metrics may include brand awareness, message recall, customer attitudes, and response rates. What is integrated marketing communications, IMC? Integrated marketing communications is a marketing communications planning approach that combines various disciplines to provide clarity, consistency, and maximum impact. What is the goal of integrated marketing communications? The goal of IMC is to ensure that discrete messages are integrated and delivered with clarity, consistency, and maximum impact. How many steps are involved in developing effective communications? There are 8 steps in developing effective communications. What is the first step in developing effective communications? The first step is to identify the target audience. What is the second step in developing effective communications? The second step is to choose the communications objectives. What is the third step in